You know what's the hardest part about making a video? It's the fact that you actually need to come up with a topic to make a video about. And you literally spend more time thinking about what you're going to make rather than actually making it. It's true. Sometimes, or I would say most of the times, you're just staring at this white blank Word document, desperately trying to come up with something. Something that you would be proud of and something that your audience will respond to. So you need to keep your audience in mind. So after hours and hours of thinking, I finally managed to come up with something that I wanted to talk about and I wanted to make a video about. But then Nintendo said, nope, here's a new product. We are dropping it. Bam, talk about it. Oh well, here goes 3/4 of my day. Thank you, Nintendo. Now you know what I'm going to talk about. And it was given. This product had to be launched. This smaller iteration of Switch, the Switch Mini, has been in talks for quite some time. It is probably the worst kept industry secret. From news, media outlets, and even teensy-wincy YouTubers to even bigsy-wigsy YouTubers, all of them were reporting about this rumored Switch Mini. And that's not all. There are these small e-commerce retailers and random people who were posting about this Switch Mini, even giving product shots of various accessories of Switch Mini. Now to be clear, Nintendo Switch is my favorite piece of device. It's my favorite console. I absolutely love it. But if you think about it, or personally, if I think about it, why do I like Nintendo Switch? Well, it's mainly because of the novelty of this device. I like what it is all about. I like its unique proposition. It's not entirely a handheld, and it's not exactly a dedicated console. It's kind of a hybrid of sorts that can just switch. So if you want to play your game on a big screen, you can do that because it's got a TV mode. If you want to take it outside and want to portably play a game in handheld mode, you can do that. Or if you want to use your Switch controller, you can just kick back the stand, put it in tabletop mode, and use your Pro controller to play a game. Or you can invite friends to play a co-op game and play that on that particular single device. I think so. That's what's the appeal of Nintendo Switch in the first place. On the other hand, the new Nintendo Switch Lite has just glued the Joy-Cons to the screen, shrunk the screen size from 6.3 inches to 5.5 inches without removing those god-awful bezels. Well, that's not enough. Nintendo has to be Nintendo. So they removed the HD rumble and the IR sensors, the kickstand, and called it the Nintendo Switch Lite. The point is, what's the point? I mean, if a Switch cannot switch, then why call it a Switch? You might just call it 3D SX, X, Extreme, Pro, some mini device. Just call it anything but Switch. You named your gaming device Switch because, as per the name, the device can switch. The new Switch Lite goes against your branding, your market proposition, your USP. And Switch was named Switch to represent that USP. Now, it's not like there are no improvements to Switch Lite. It is slightly lighter. It has finally got a proper D-pad, which is a big improvement over the imprecise D-pad of the current Switch. So this Switch will be far superior for 2D side-scrollers, platformers, and fighting games, which, by the way, form the majority of the Switch games. Now, Nintendo says the Lite features slightly improved battery life, but it does not specify how much more Zelda I can play before the damn thing switches off. Personally, I feel the battery should not be slightly better, it should be significantly better, because this Switch features a more power efficient chip layout. It's got a reduced screen size, that means the real estate that needs to be powered by the device is much less when you compare it to the original Switch. And because they got rid of the battery operated Joy-Cons, the battery life should have been significantly better. And it's not like they bumped the resolution from 1080p to 720p. And the screen resolution coupled with the screen quality has always been a bummer. That's why I prefer to play Xenoblade on my TV, because the image quality was vastly superior. But now with Switch Lite, there's no option to connect to the TV. It's baffling because my 7,000 rupees tablet from 2015 can connect to the TV directly and wirelessly. And in market, there are options like Chromecast, which are easy, viable options for you to connect to TV. But Switch Lite cannot do it. Even through the USB-C connection, it is unable to do it. That is not cutting corners, that is being purely Nintendo. I don't know, Nintendo needs to give up on its Nintendo Panti. God damn it, Nintendo, there is not even a brightness sensor. So you need to manually adjust the screen brightness. And for a person like me who is too lazy to move his hand to even wipe his face, expecting that I'm going to manually adjust the brightness when I go out and come back in is just asking too much. Now, what I like about Nintendo Lite is that it comes in zangy colors. I love those colors. It's got this bright yellow, and then it's got the gray shade, and then it also has this must-have color. And then Nintendo is also going to roll out some special editions also. And there are also some nice aesthetical changes as well, like how the bezels and the air vents match the color of the hardware. So everything just beautifully blends together. I don't know, I've always been a sucker of pastel color devices, be it iPod or be it iPhones. I've always loved colors. So I might just get Nintendo Switch Lite just purely for the fashion statement because I'm dumb and I can be extremely stupid. But clearly, the Switch is not targeted towards me. Why would I switch to a Switch that cannot switch from my Switch that can actually switch? Now I know Nintendo has all sorts of data, and maybe people do use their Switch portably, and maybe people are not using those extra features. But even then, the idea that I'm missing out on these features is not very satisfying. Switch is clearly targeted to 3DS owners who want to upgrade, or is targeted towards parents who are looking to buy their kids the new Pokemon game so that they can finally shut up and give them some alone time. But even if we consider those demographics, I feel Switch Lite is a tad bit on the expensive side. It could have easily been $50 less, because right now being $100 cheaper than the actual Switch is kind of a bummer, because what do you get in those extra $100? You get a bigger screen, you get a fully featured Joy-Con with HD rumble and IR sensors and all that jazz. You get a TV mode, which is very important. You get the tabletop option, and you get the handheld mode. And then you also get the ability to play a co-op game with your friends on a single console. And if you look at the practical side of things, if in case your Joy-Con fails or your button stops working, you just cannot replace them with a new Joy-Con. You have to replace the whole unit. So for even new customers, who are not kids by the way, I don't see the appeal of Nintendo Switch Lite. So like I said, even though Nintendo is saying that Switch Lite is not a replacement to the 3DS and they will continue to support the 3DS, I just don't see how it's going to be possible. Remember, Nintendo said back in the day that DS wasn't going to replace the Game Boy, and you know how that turned out. The Switch Lite, the highest end 3DS, both those devices cost the same amount of money, but Switch Lite is significantly more capable than 3DS. And like 3DS, Switch Lite has these attached Joy-Cons, making the unit more sturdier for kids, especially for hyperactive kids, jumpy kids. And it's a perfect Christmas gift. It's a perfect gift for kids, for parents who just want their kids to go out there, play their Switch games, and give them some peace of mind. So I don't think Nintendo Switch Lite is going to be a failure. It will find a new demographic and it will sell very well. But it's just not for adult gamers. Maybe if it was $50 cheaper, maybe, then it would have been a nice proposition. Now for the marketing speech. This was CanKicks and you were watching Mixed Up. Please like this video, comment on this video. If you're not subscribed to us, then definitely subscribe to us. And there's this bell icon right next to the subscribe button. Please press that for notifications.